2025 are Mayor C. Holland Purdue III and Vice Mayor Benjamin K. Mullins. Council members A. Ralph Casey, David K. Clements, J. Tyler Lee, Mark H. Newbill, and Lucas A. Tuning. Also participating this evening are staff members as noted.
We could stand and do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we start the meeting, just a reminder that tomorrow we have the Veterans Day ceremony at the Memorial Park. It begins at 11 o'clock, so it'll be nice and cold. Dress accordingly, but that is tomorrow at 11. All right, now, everyone has the agenda in front of them. We'll look for an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is approved. Next, we have the consent agenda that has been presented. Any approval?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. The consent agenda is approved. Tonight, we have a few special items on the agenda. First, we have the proclamation honoring local bluegrass band Lost and Found. I'm going to go over here real quick. So this was presented last night at the Harvester, but Dempsey Young's daughter, Stephanie, is here, and her daughter are here. And so we're going to present it again tonight. And so if y'all want to come up. She was doing her homework, so we're going to take a little break. All right. So whereas the bluegrass band Lost and Found, with original members Alan Mills, Gene Parker, Dempsey Young, and Roger Handy, has since its founding in 1973 in Ferrum, Virginia, shared the authentic spirit, sound, and storytelling of tradition and contemporary bluegrass with audiences across the nation and around the world. And whereas, according to band member Alan Mills, the name of the band came from the fact that, quote, at the time we started this band, all of us were lost in other bands, but we found each other through a mutual love of bluegrass music. And whereas Lost and Found began recording in 1976 on Outlet Records in Rocky Mount, Virginia, combining heartfelt vocals, rich harmonies, and masterful musicianship, mixing folk and country songs with bluegrass to create a distinctive sound that has inspired generations of bluegrass fans and musicians alike. And whereas, through beloved recordings such as Love of the Mountains, If Today Was the Last Day, Leftover Biscuits, Struttin' to Ferrum, Peaceful Dreams, and Old Slate Mountain Home, Lost and Found has contributed enduring classics to the American musical canon. And whereas the band's more than 4 decades of recording and touring through the United States and Europe have earned them widespread acclaim for their artistry, professionalism, and deep respect for the roots of bluegrass. And whereas the members of Lost and Found have not only entertained countless audiences, but have also served as ambassadors for Appalachian culture, preserving and advancing a uniquely American musical heritage. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Town Council of the Town of Rocky Mount does hereby recognize and honor Lost and Found for their extraordinary contributions to the art of bluegrass music, their dedication to music excellence, and their lasting impact on cultural life in the town of Rocky Mount, Franklin County, the Commonwealth of Virginia, the United States, and the world. And that Monday, November 10th, 2025 shall be designated as Lost and Found Day in the town of Rocky Mount in celebration of their legacy and in appreciation of their joy they have brought to generation of listeners. Given this hand, the 10th day of November, C. Holland Purdue, Mayor, Rocky Mount. So, thank you guys. All right, so next we're going to recognize Police Department and Fire Department for the Trunk or Treat community event. Robert, you want to handle that?
Sure.
Yep.
So for those that weren't able to attend, the day before Halloween, the fire department and the police department put together a trunk or treat event that they've done at least for the time that I've been here. And there were a lot of kids there. I went by there at, I think, about 5:15, and there were already kids in line, and the event didn't even start till 6. So there were a whole lot of people there. Chief, what was y'all's kind of estimate on how many people were there? Just the kids. So around 1,000 kids. So it was a big crowd. And I think having it on a night before Halloween instead of on Halloween probably brought more kids in, and it was a lot of people. So it was a great event. Fire department and the police department combined to do that. Both of the chiefs that are here can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Ryan King, Sergeant King, is the one who kind of does a lot of that organization. So yeah, so a great event. Great job, Sergeant King, and I know the community loves it because I've heard about it from people ever since the event. Everybody's been talking to me about it. So thank y'all.
All right, next we have some town staff service awards. So the Rocky Mount community is fortunate to have such a skilled, dedicated group of people working every day and night to make Rocky Mount a great place to live, work, and visit. Most of the services provided by the town, wastewater, water, law enforcement, streets, snow removal, solid waste collection, etc., are done so well that people do not notice the time and effort that goes into providing them. If those services were not being provided at a high standard that they are, people would definitely notice that. The wealth of knowledge and experience of the town staff is impressive. We have one employee that has been with the town for over 40 years, 6 between 30 and 40 years, 8 between 20 and 30 years, 7 between 10 and 20 years, and 14 between 5 and 10 years. The average tenure for a town employee is 10 years. A number of town employees will now be recognized for achieving milestones in their service to the town, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, etc. So if I do call your name and you are present, if you would come up. 5 years, Louis Van Beek, police officer, town of Rocky Mount, who's not present. Mark Moore, assistant town manager. Come on up, come on. Those are the 5 years. 10 years, Steve Burgoyne, police sergeant, town of Rocky Mount, not present this evening. Barika Burwell, 10 years, police sergeant, town of Rocky Mount, not present. Sean Richardson, police lieutenant, town of Rocky Mount, who is present, 10 years. Moving to 20 years, we have Kerry Hodges, record clerk, town of Rocky Mount. We have Dennis Mo Potter, wastewater plant superintendent. Curtis Leo Wade, grounds maintenance 2, not present this evening. 25 years, Dallas Bailey, water plant operator, plant 2, Dallas is present. 30 years, it's a long time, Rebecca Dillon, town clerk. Amy Dillon, director of administrative services, as it says, AKA the HR lady. Stephen McGee, maintenance 3. And finally, 32 years, John Boitnott, town attorney. So these are the people who deserve a big recognition. So if you would, congratulate them.
Almost as old as I am.
All right. Now, next we have a public hearing that requires action. Subdivision waiver request by Jubal's One LLC. Mr. Wood will present.
Council, most of you, I think, are familiar with the townhome development where Jubal's Retreat is what it's called. That's been there for a number of years. They are looking to expand it, which is great news because we always need more housing. They're looking to expand over there, and so they had one issue. The subdivision code requires that in order to develop a piece of land, you have to have frontage on a street or road in town, and which makes sense because there needs to be access. In this case, they ended up having to divide the property into 2 pieces for financing reasons, And so they're asking if they can go ahead and do this expansion, even though the second piece of property doesn't have frontage. They're gonna use the driveway, the existing driveway that's there. And so in order to, they've asked us for a waiver, and is what it's called in the code, a waiver from that requirement. And to kind of make it so that there won't be a problem in the future, they've agreed to sign what's called a unified development agreement that, in the most basic sense, it says that even though there's two separate properties, for development purposes from now until eternity, I guess, because it'll be recorded, we're gonna treat it like it's one piece of property. So even though he had to subdivide it, we're gonna treat it as one property. And so that's the question before you today, is if you want to grant that waiver. It was recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission, and our town planner is not here tonight. That's why I'm doing the presentation. She's not here tonight because of a family emergency, but the recommendation was to approve it, and that's also the staff approval is to approve it.
I'd like to make the motion to move forward with the current development agreement on this current tax parcel.
Motion in a second. Have a motion second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Did you want to state the name?
Yeah, and no one signed up to speak, just so everyone knows. Next, we have the hearing of citizens. Tonight, we have one person signed up, Ms. Glenna Moore, if you would.
Good evening, Council. Glenna Hawkins Moore. It's difficult to believe that on this eve of Veterans Day 2025, we are in the process of inviting VIPs to join us as we make history when we unveil the only bronze statue honoring United States Colored Troop soldiers in the whole state of Virginia, the heart of the Confederacy. The letter I'm about to read is addressed to the keynote speaker, Dr. Frank Smith, Director of the African American Civil War Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. Dear Mr. Smith, we so look forward to having you speak at our celebration, as we feel there is probably no one else who can articulate the why behind our efforts better than you. January 18th, 2026 will be an historic day in the town of Rocky Mount. More than 2 years ago, a local branch of the NAACP and partners from around the state began work on a plan to honor 70 African-American men born in Franklin County who fought as Union soldiers for their own freedom as well as the preservation of the Union during America's Civil War. Virginia Tech's initiative titled Monuments Across Appalachian Virginia, funded by the Andrew Mellon Foundation, accepted the Franklin County NAACP's proposal for funding by awarding $285,000 to educate the community about the untold and untaught story of the USCT soldiers and to erect a monument to honor their service to America. In early spring 2024, work began in earnest on Raising the Shade project. It was designed to bring the entire community along on a journey to discover who these men were, their names obtained from archived military records. While research was initially begun by the Shenandoah Valley Black Heritage Project, contributions from history professors, students, community researchers, National Archives, and the African American Civil War Memorial Museum allowed the project to do not only learn their names, but to shine a light on each man's previously untold story. It would be an honor to have you join us on Sunday, January 18th for the unveiling of a monument by sculptors Rick Weaver and Paul DePasquale, which memorializes these United States colored troops. The monument will stand facing Franklin Street on the grounds of the historic 19th century First Baptist Church, currently undergoing renovation. The outdoor ceremony will begin at 3 p.m., followed by a reception at the Harvester Performance Center, just 3 blocks away. We offer you our warmest regards from proud supporters of Raising the Shade, Franklin County, Virginia, 1850 to 1910. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Seeing no one else signed up for hearing the citizens, we're at the point for adjournment this evening.
So moved.
Have a motion. Second. And a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This meeting is adjourned.
Record setting. Coming down tomorrow? I'll see what the weather is. I'm gonna try to come.
Yes, that's tomorrow.
Me too. Wrap up the car. Wrap up the